Well, good morning folks, welcome to the channel and welcome to part 3 of a 3-part series of me and my BMW touring the sites of the Normandy landing beaches. Well, this is the last part of the video. Click on the links up here for the other parts. But got out to the bike, very cold night, just had to clear the frost off the seat, and obviously just got to be a little bit careful on the roads this morning. Anyway, the heated jacket has been an absolute godsend, as has the heated seat and the heated handlebar grips on the old GS. So yeah, 225 miles is the plan today, and what we're going to do is just, I've got my little notes down here, it's about 1 hour 30 to get from the hotel in just south of Mont Saint-Michel, so it's a good old ride, and 87 miles, 1 hour 30, and then we're going to go to see St.Mere, Eglise, the parachutist on the roof, and then the American Airborne Museum, which is next door to it. So without further ado, I filled up with fuel last night. The route's now on the GPS. Let's start that route. Yes, let's turn the old Bluetooth on. I cannot see anything in there, nothing at all, and it is 1 degree. So I'm gonna have to be really careful today to start with. So handlebar grips on number 4. Tell you what I'm going to do is let's put the seat heating on. Let's just wipe that up to full heat, and we're ready to go. If anybody's got a solution for misted up glasses, please let me know, because it's a right raw pain in the backside. 1 hour 30 to get up there. Great day, ending up at the American War Cemetery. So let's go up to St.Mere, Eglise and the USA Airborne Museum. Beautiful morning, glasses are steamed up, it's 1 degree centigrade. Oh, and I need to put my heated jacket on before I freeze to death. So we'll see you in a little while. Cheerio folks. So French time, it's 9:30 and there's coaches already rocked up. So basically it's just trying to find somewhere to park. So I guess that's the US museum over there, and then we've got St.Mere, Eglise, the church is over that way, but lots of parking here. So let's go and find somewhere to park first, I think. As ever, GoPro's packed up. Well done GoPro, absolute pile of crap. So this is the centre of the village, Centre-Ville, and there's the famous parachutist up the church spire. So I think we're going to park somewhere around here, in fact maybe over here actually. So Airborne Museum, and we'll park down here I think. So there's people here already. Temperature wise it was about between 2 and 4 degrees on the way up. It's gone up to 6 degrees now. I'm so glad that I've got my heated jacket on, that Keiss heated jacket, absolutely brilliant. And in fact it's getting too warm now, so I'm going to park here. Welcome to St.Mere, Eglise and the parachutist on the roof. Right, let's turn all this off before I overheat. Brilliant. Let's go and have a look. St.Mere, Eglise and then the Airborne Museum. And the bike is going really well, but it was cold today. So glad we got the old heated grips, very good, and the heated seat. I actually had to turn it down because my bum was on fire. So let's crack on. Bike's over there, and there's a parking meter just on the other side of this car park, and it's basically €2 for 23 hours. So yeah, I paid €2. I don't think there's any free parking in here. There's the famous parachutist who got caught on the top of the church. Again, very pretty village, lots of parking, but you have to pay for it. Not very busy at the moment, but I suspect it's going to get very busy. And then there is the US Airborne Museum, and then if you need the loos, then a little signpost here, toilets just down this way. So if you're desperate, there are some toilets there, and that's if you don't want to go into the museum and use the toilets in the museum. So there's the toilet block, lo and behold, they're padlocked. There's the museum, let's go in there and let's have a good look around. I think that's going to be a really good museum to go and have a look at. So let's go and have a look. So I paid my €9.90 in the entrance hall, and I've come out those doors there, and the whole facility looks absolutely brilliant. So you've got 4 main exhibition halls. So Plano Waco, had a look down here, number 1. There's that one over there. There's some robots just cutting the grass as well, which is quite funny. Number 2 is down here. So we've got the C-47 airplane in the building over there. Number 3 is Operation Neptune, and there's some toilet facilities over there in that fire building there. And then finally we've got number 4, which is the cinema. Not sure where that one is. It might be that one down here maybe. So let's go and explore, but it looks really good. Is glider. Waco is, I've been in there, so I've just come out. Waco is the type of American glider, and the British use their Horsa glider. So glider, Waco, very interesting, very interesting. Let's continue the tour. So we're going to go into the Operation Neptune exhibition hall, and basically all these 4 exhibits are dedicated to the American Airborne operation at St.Mere, Eglise, basically. So let's go and have a look inside. So one more hall to go, that's the C-47 hall. So they've got a C-47 in it, and I think it was used on the parachute drops for the Normandy invasion. So let's go and have a look. Lots of folks have been here about 2 hours, so 2 hours is a good time. Maybe 3 hours, maybe, is what you need. So I've just come out of the C-47 building, and the C-47 in there was actually used by US Airborne forces to drop in France on the 5th and the 6th of June. So fascinating, but you certainly need a minimum of 2, maybe 3 hours to come here. There's no cafeteria facilities, so bring your own food, but they do have toilets. So let's get back to the bike and go somewhere else. And the only thing I would say is they give you these iPad things to give you a bit more information, but I don't think you really need it. Anyway, let's go. And then just before we go, they do have a shop, and you can buy lots of stuff. So it is very, very good. Very good. Right then, let's go. So that's it, folks. That is St.Mere Eglise Airborne Museum. Mr. John Steele, the paratrooper, up on the roof there. Really good visit, that. Really enjoyed that. So we're now going to go to Utah Beach. It's about 18 minutes away. Museum is really busy. Obviously a lot of students doing their history lessons, so it might be quite busy depending on when you're going to go, but I have to say, well worth the visit, well worth the €9.90. Yeah, very pretty St.Mere Eglise, very nice. parking wise. There were a couple of bikes over there actually by the dustbin there where those people are, so I don't know if that could be possibly free parking, but I did read on Google that there is no free parking in St.Mere, Eglise, but I guess you take your chance, don't you? Anyway, let's go to Utah. So we're on the D423, absolutely nobody on it whatsoever, great little road for, yeah, enjoying. So we're on the D423 and we're going to go on the D115 and that will take us to Utah Beach. Goodbye St.Mere, Eglise. Another glorious day. So these are the French roads I really like. So the back roads, this is the D14 taking us from St.Mere, Eglise, which was an amazing place to visit, down towards Utah Beach. The sun's shining. Got to be a little bit careful with any gravel spots on the road. Current temperature is now at 10 degrees, so I don't need to have my heater jacket on. But that museum, the Airborne museum, was really good in that nice little village of St.Mere, Eglise, and parking was €2 for 23 hours, so not bad at all. Yep, next stop, Utah Beach. Stop bar. And Utah Beach, Musée de Débarquement. I think there's a chance you can get museumed out, really. So I might not do another museum today, but we'll see. Everywhere you go there's little reminders of World War II. So there we go then, from St.Mere, Eglise to Utah, took me about 10 minutes or so. So there's a museum over here. I looked on Google and there's plenty of parking and I think it's free actually, so yeah, let's have a look where we can park. So yeah, I think the parking is free. Let's make sure we don't get run over. So yeah, parking, yep, camping Utah. So I think what we'll do is just park the old machine over here, I think. And there's a cafe over there as well. I'm not sure if that's open, but there is a cafe there in case you want some lunch. Right, let's go and have a look, see what we've got. So yeah, plenty of parking. BM's over there. Again, immaculately kept. Cafe over there, which looks like it's open actually, and lots of memorials, so let's go and have a look at those. So D-Day then, Utah Beach, there were 23,000 troops landed on these shores and they suffered the lightest casualties out of all the landings with 197 casualties. Lots of barbed wire everywhere, so don't go scratching yourself, cutting yourself, but yeah, lots of people around. Obviously very interesting for relatives and things, or just people with an interest in the Second World War. I'm not going to do the museum. I think I'm going to be a little bit museumed out actually. But I'm going to have a little mooch around, have a look at the Sherman tank, have a little bit of walk around, and then go to the next location. So Utah Beach then, there's a museum. I'm not going to go in there, I'm a bit all museumed out at the moment, but I'm sure it's really good. But if you've been there before, make some comments in the comment section down below for others to know what to expect in there. But yeah, it looks pretty good, and outside, yeah, it's all immaculate. Lots of people here, lots of tour guides on the beach doing what they need to do. Yeah, pretty good. It's a good place to come. Another point of interest, folks, if you come here and you're not going to go in the museum, but you need to use the loo, just asked a couple of cyclists who are visiting here and they said no problems, go in here, turn right, and you can use the washroom facilities. brilliant, and that's where I'm going to go now. Well, that's me done at Utah Beach. Great place to visit. Got the cafe over here, which is open at the moment. There's no general public toilets, but yeah, I've just used the washroom facilities in the museum behind me. Good job, definitely worth a visit, and plenty of parking. My next port of call is going to be Pointe du Hoc, but before that I'm going to pop along the coast, head towards a place called Maisy, 30 minutes riding, about 22 miles, and go and have a drink and something to eat. Then we're going to go to Pointe du Hoc, so definitely give Utah Beach a go. And as you can see, I've ditched the GoPro because it's not working properly. Absolute pile of poo, absolute pile of poo. Anyway, I'll stick with my DJI. Yeah, certainly worth a visit here, really is, very good. Right, next. So we're just arriving at Grandcamp, Maisy, if I pronounce that correctly. I actually don't know much about this at all, but there's a sign back there for Pointe du Hoc, so just going to come down here. This is where I plan to stop with my riding buddies, who quite clearly aren't with me. We're just going to have like Mules and Fritz down here or something. So that was the plan. So let's find somewhere to park. Very nice. This is Grandcamp Maisy. Oh yes. Café de Port. Right then. Shall we find somewhere to park? Let everybody cross. Very nice. Lots of people sat outside at the bottom. Café de Port. So I think that's where I'm going to go. I can't see any pay meters, but I'm just going to dump the bike at the end. Nobody's going to moan, are they? Right then. I think I'm going to dump it just here actually, because I can. Let's sit in the cafe, I think. I don't need too much to eat. Maybe some chips or something. Very nice. Unplug the phone before you get off the bike. Oops. So this is Grandcamp Maisy. Very pretty, and I have to say the little cafe here, Café de Port, I had the finest French fries and croquette, if I pronounced that correctly, cheese and ham. So I would recommend that. And now we're going to get on the bike and then go to Pointe du Hoc. Right, onwards and upwards to Pointe du Hoc. Yeah, dana. And it's always nice when the sun is out and the sky is blue. Very nice. D514 La Pointe du Hoc. Mowing the lawn there, but this looks really nice. And I did want to come have a look at it, but it looks fabulous. In fact, I'm actually going to take a picky of it. It looks great. It's a shame the bloke's there, but never mind. That really is quite impressive. Quite impressive, in fact. It's so impressive. I'm going to try not to get killed. But that is really, really impressive. It's a great thing about a bike. You can go sort of pretty much wherever you want. So Medal of Honor, Frank Periguri. Wow. Okay, let's go. Pointe du Hoc. Au revoir, Grandcamp Maisy. And then we have a sea of yellow again. It's just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Sometimes you've just got to go and do one of these solo trips, haven't you? It would have been great with the old biking buddies with me, but there we go. Right, Pointe du Hoc. So if you don't know about Pointe du Hoc, basically they've got some gun emplacements down here, a battery, and then D-Day US Army Rangers scaled the 90-foot cliffs, according to here. I guess that's why we've got the American flags. And they were going to disable the gun battery. However, some of the powers that be And the Americans, they knew that the guns weren't there and they'd been moved inland, but they didn't tell the army rangers scaling the cliffs, and all that was in the gun batteries were telegraph poles, so somebody was a bit naughty. Anyway, let's go and have a look at that. But we have got, as ever, toilet facilities over here, and I'm not sure what we have to do with there, and I don't know how we get down to the guns, so let's go and find out. Okay, so at the moment they've got some do not go through here signs up, so I think it's due to the erosion of the cliffs. So this is the section here that you can't visit, and the green section is the section you can visit. So we're currently here by the visitor centre, and that's us by the barriers here, so we can't go down there, which is down here, so you have to walk down here and then I guess down this footpath here, which is not a problem, and we get to see the gun batteries as well. So let's go and have a look. So there's the arrival centre, for want of a better word, with the washroom facilities, plenty of parking, and it's about a 10-minute walk down the path to the gun battery. So from the visitor centre to here itself is about a 5 to 10-minute walk, and I'm not sure if it's owned by the Americans now, if they've been like the American cemetery, whether this is their plot of land. If I find out, I'll put it up here. But yeah, basically the Allies actually bombed this place to bits, thinking that the guns were here, which obviously could fire on Omaha and Utah beaches, but they'd been moved inland, and the Germans had put telegraph poles and nettings over the top of the gun barrels to give them the impression that guns were still in place. But you can see all the craters from the shelling, I guess, from the Navy and aerial bombardment. And I think because of the strong currents, the US Rangers couldn't land when they wanted to, so they were delayed in coming ashore, which meant that the Germans were aware, and I think there was about 200 US Rangers plus to start with, and then by the end of the day I think there's about 90 left that were able to fight, so suffered heavy losses basically. Well, that's taken me about an hour to do the Pointe du Hoc, so it's about 10 minutes from the car park down to the point and then back again. The visitor centre is closed at the moment and the washroom facilities are open, which is great. It's free, it's a heritage site, American heritage site or something. Yeah, worth a visit. Took me about an hour to get around it. Lots of people there. It's the school holidays as well, so busy, but it's free. Yeah, definitely worth a visit, just to see how sheer those cliffs were that the US Rangers had to get up. And I think there was over 200 of them started, and then by the end of the day there were 90 left, so massive casualties there. But yeah, worth a visit. So where we're going to go now, we're going to go to the big one for me. That's going to be to the American Cemetery. So I better look over here, the American Cemetery, and that is going to take us 8 miles and 24 minutes. So let's go to the American Cemetery. Worth a visit here, definitely worth a visit. Right then, camera's rolling, glasses are steaming up again. God, I don't know what the temperature is, but all this clobber on. Yeah, certainly get warm. Right, American Cemetery, here we come. Definitely worth a visit. Tons of parking, especially if you're on a motorbike, and it's free of charge. So the road so far from Pointe du Hoc down towards the American Cemetery, it's all sort of A-B roads, a little bit sketchy at times. Got to go about 4 miles to go before we get to the American Cemetery, so just going to go along the coast according to the GPS route here. But what a cracking day, really good day. I was just trying to think of some words to describe the whole 2-day trip, and I really can't come up with any useful words whatsoever. There was a time yesterday when I was at the British War Cemetery, just looking at the gravestone of a friend of mine who works at the BMW dealer. His father's his father's brother, sorry, his granddad's brother, and this is Omaha Beach actually. So all of this is Omaha Beach, and the American Cemetery is over that way somewhere. And you know what? I couldn't come up with any words at all, and my mind just went totally blank, as though I was in another space somewhere. Just thinking about all the, well, I don't know what I was thinking. It was quite emotional actually. Let me just dispatch this car. It was quite emotional. So it's definitely worth a trip to come and see all these sites. But I think with my little bit of paper on here, planning and preparation prevents poor performance, or words to that effect. So I think you've got to be careful which bits you go and see. Do your Google research, look at YouTube videos like this one. This is going to be a long one, I'm afraid. There's going to be three videos. But yeah, do your research, have a little bit of a timetable, plan for lunch and stuff, but have a timetable. I think that's a must. That's what I take away from this. Obviously we were based way south, an hour and a half's ride, because we wanted to give the bikes a bit of a run. If I was going to do it again, I would make sure I was based no more than half an hour away from the landing beaches, just to get the maximum benefit of the museums and the location. So yeah, that's one thing I would sort of take away from the trip. But it's fabulous, everybody needs to do it. It's very hard to imagine, you know, so many years ago, all the carnage that was going on these beaches. Shocking. Total respect, chaps and chapesses. Total respect. And all the way along the coast from Utah to Sword Beach, there are literally hundreds of monuments dedicated to the D-Day landings, the people who lost their lives. Again, there's a big monument there, not sure what that one is. I'm sure in my research I've seen about that one. But yeah, again, everywhere is immaculate. Really is. Again, another museum here on the right hand side. If this is the Overlord Museum, that's supposed to be very good. Looks pretty good. Lots of stuff there. Omaha Museum, lots of tanks. So there we go, Normandy American Cemetery. And I guess with a lovely windy day today, blue sky and sun, the flags are certainly going to be flying. There we go, Normandy American Cemetery and Memorial. That's what we're after. So here we go then, Normandy American Cemetery. Right. I'm expecting this to be absolutely immaculate. Again, this is free. Parking is going to be free as well. And I believe the cemetery sort of overlooks Omaha Beach, which is what we've just driven along. So let's find somewhere to park. Parking for motorbikes, I saw a sign there. Parking for bikes. Oh no, there we go. So they've got dedicated parking spaces for motorbikes, actually, you can see on the floor here. So cool. So just go down as far as you can go, folks, right down to the bottom. Dedicated bike parks, and I'm the only one. Bonjour. There we go, dedicated bike parks. Great job. Right, here we are then at the American Cemetery. Yeah, okay, time for reflection, I guess, guys. Let's do this and let's go and have a look. Right. So before we go inside, I don't know why, but I'm always pointing this out. You have washroom facilities just over here before you wherever the entrance is. I guess everybody's going down that way, possibly, not sure, but yeah, you've got washroom facilities just in case. So my first stop is going to be at the visitor centre, where they've got a really good museum, and it's on the first floor, and then you go down to the basement. So let's go through security and have a look at that museum, and it's really good. So I started my visit to the cemetery by going into the visitor centre. I would recommend that. There's a museum in this sort of the basement area, for want of a better word. Have a look in there. That'll take you about 45 minutes to have a look at all the stuff, and it will then just put you in the right frame of mind for going into the cemetery and having a look around there. And then we've got the Omaha Beach all the way along here. Right, so folks, I've spent about an hour and a half at the American Cemetery, and I just have no words, simply no words whatsoever. You have to come and visit here, have a walk around. It's ginormous, over 9,000 service personnel killed in action, buried here. No words whatsoever. So I was going to go to the gun battery at St.Mere, but I've just run out of time. So I'm going to get on the bike, hour and a half ride back down towards Pointe du Hoc, freshen up, have an evening meal, and then just relax, and then get the ferry home tomorrow. So see you in a little bit, but absolutely no words. All right, folks, that's me finished. What a great day that's been. Great day. Back to the hotel. Alla prochaine. So they're kicking everybody out. Brilliant. Right then, so back to the hotel. That's been a great day, that has. But I didn't have a chance to get to the gun battery, just not enough hours in the day. Anyway, back to the hotel. Should be there in about an hour and a half. Okay folks, we've got just over 2 miles to go before we get back to my hotel in Pointe du Hoc. So my thoughts over the last 2 days of my little Normandy landing beach tours. Well, I've had a really good time. I know the videos have been quite long, I guess, but there's a lot of stuff to see. I've crammed an awful lot of stuff in, and if I was going to do it again, I think I wouldn't be at 1 hour and 30 minutes ride time both there and back to the landing beaches, and I'd want to be as close as I possibly could to give you more time to go and see the stuff. So work out where you're going to go, some rough time, some lunch breaks and stuff. That's what you need to do. Hence my little bit of paper on here. So I've had a really good time. I think it's time for a shower, then a beer, and then a steak and frites, as they say. Right, time to have something to eat. Oh, lovely.